Two down in the ninth inning. And the Orioles are on the board for the first time with a 3-1 lead. It's the Orioles on MASN, and we welcome you. Our day game here in Anaheim with the Orioles a chance to sweep the Angels. This their first meeting of the year. For the Orioles, an opportunity for their fourth sweep of the season. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne. The Orioles have not swept the Angels here in Anaheim since 2010. They put a big hurt on the Angels last night with that two-out Matt Wieters home run in the ninth inning. They have used that long ball all season long, and in these two games, let's go back to game one. This one would be about the home run. The Orioles getting them early. Rickard would deliver one. Back-to-back, Manny Machado, next batter up, his 12th of the year. Then it would be Trumbo's opportunity, picking up his 13th. That came in the third. And Chris Davis would follow that with a home run. Chris picking up his 10th. And then the defense came through. Kevin Gausman, who gets no run support, and that is still the case. This is a play on Escobar by Flaherty, first inning to get the out. Pujols third inning with 2 on, get the out. Escobar would finally pick up an RBI. That would put the Angels up 1-0 in the seventh. Gausman out. Worley came out of the bullpen to do the pitching. He ran into trouble right away. Couple of walks, including this one. That would take him out of the ball game. Brad Brach in. Brach would get it done. Key out. Pujols with the bases loaded. Gets the out. The Orioles then in the bottom of the ninth come away with it. Jim Palmer, as dramatic a win as we're likely to see all year.
Well, it really was. And, you know, if you go back to Friday night, it was about the home runs. It was also about great defense. You know, last night, the thing that comes to me as a former pitcher is really what went down. I mean, you're down to your last out. Chris Davis goes back up the middle, uses the middle of the field, just like he did when he hit the home run on Friday night. And then Trumbo, when you have depth in your lineup, and you know they know him because he played here. All of a sudden, you're very careful if you're Joe Smith. You walk him, you get to Wieters, and for back-to-back nights, Davis on Friday night and then Wieters last night, they hit home runs to the opposite field, which is not easy here. As it turned out, if you were at home, it would have been a walk-off home run, and then the strike zone got real big for Zach Britton, who said today, I had no idea where the ball was going, and they ended up winning a game that I don't think anybody thought they were going to win because Shoemaker was that good last night.
Yeah, he was outstanding, but came away with an ND. Who is it going to be today? Ubaldo Jimenez, who gets people out. Ubaldo Jimenez, who struggles with the strike zone. We are about to find out. He will be on the mound. Jared Weaver, Game 3, coming up. Northwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Ocean City, Maryland. Let us show you a good time in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. Clear skies, lots of sun, few high clouds, 70 degrees at game time. Little breeze blowing from right to left here on another beautiful day in Anaheim as the Orioles come off the dramatic 3-1 win. For those of you who hung in late, you got to jump out of bed or off the couch or wherever you were sleeping and celebrated Orioles win after they had won the opener 9-4. Now go for the sweep.
Yeah, and it's funny. Tom Davis, I kind of talked to him because I heard him as we kind of went on the air or off the air before we did the interview with Matt Wieters. He said the shot that woke up Baltimore, one of the great lines, and maybe it did. Out here you get ready for the maybe the quake, but that was heard loud and clear all over Southern California.
Yeah, that was a stunning loss, and now the Orioles 26-15, a game ahead of the Red Sox coming into today's play. Have an opportunity to get a sweep on the road. Coming into this road trip, of course, they were 500, now 9-7, and their series is now 8-4-1 as the Orioles have guaranteed themselves a series win with victories in the first two games.
Yeah, I think we kind of talked about a storyline coming in. The Angels, they're like a MASH unit, 10 guys on the disabled list, but they had won 6 out of 7. They come back on Friday night. They're down 4-1, but then the Orioles used the long ball to win 9-4, and then Shoemaker was 2-5 with an ERA of almost 8.5 runs a game. He looked like one of the greatest right-handed pitchers in the history of the game last night. He was really that good with a great split, great command with all his other pitches. So now you're going to get a guy that may top out at 85, and Jared Weaver. But the one number that jumps out to me, Gary, is the fact that over his last 7 decisions, he's 6-1, so he's not throwing a lot of fastballs because he's got a neck injury. And, it's bothered the velocity. He's got the big curveball, great changeup, very deceptive at 6-7. You can see 62 hits, 45 1/3 innings. And again, the numbers pretty much like Shoemaker, very, very high. But he loves to pitch here in the daytime. And, Buck Showalter's already said they like him to pitch on Sunday because he throws out of the rocks. And those are the rocks out in left center field here.
So Weaver, who comes in with an 8-4 mark against the Orioles, 3.29 lifetime earned run average, but obviously a very different pitcher from that of years ago. 33 years old now. This has been a very good ballpark for him to pitch in. 75 wins and 31 losses here in this ballpark, and a solid 2.74 career earned run average.
Yeah, he's got the best home earned run average other than Clayton Kershaw, who's won a couple of Cy Youngs with the Dodgers in the American League, and that's quite a number.
So we'll see what the Orioles can do with him. The Orioles have had problems this year going against this kind of a pitcher. They are a fastball hitting team, and Weaver is anything but a fastball pitcher. And you kind of have to get your timing on him because he is so distinctly different.
Yeah, you would think up the middle right field, and again, part of a great hitting philosophy is to give a pitcher a certain portion of the plate early on. He likes to pitch away. I mean, again, he's got the changeup he'll throw in any count. And the other thing is, and you talk to Mike Scioscia, he goes, and Mike, a former catcher, said the deception throws. He steps kind of right over to their dugout and throws over his front shoulder. Tough to pick up.
And it'll be Joey Rickard leading it off. Couple of hits, including a home run in this series for Rickard with the 2 for 9, couple of RBIs. Escobar even with the bag at third. And we are underway. Strike will be taken on the inside corner. We have a home plate umpire, veteran Bob Davidson, who is over the years probably more favorable, not probably, more favorable to pitchers. Pitchers will get the corner strikes. Breaking ball is going to be taken down low, and a 1-ball 1-strike count from Weaver. So the Orioles opportunity to hang on to that first place spot in the American League East. Red Sox have a late lead over Cleveland 4-2. Weaver will come inside. He has walked 11, striking out 26. The number that jumps out at you, he's given up 62 hits in 45 innings. That's a lot of hits.
Yeah, and then 10 of those home runs.
There's that off-speed pitch in there for a strike, 2-2.
I actually think that was a fastball. I mean,
You know, I mean, there are fastballs. I mean, that's his version of the fastball, and then he pitches off that.
And that one down the line is going to go foul. Rickard getting his first major league leadoff home run in a ball game. That was, of course, in the first inning of Game 1. He and Manny Machado had the back-to-back home runs for the 8th time this year that the Orioles have done that. 2-2 delivery by Weaver, another breaking ball, and you see what we were talking about in timing. Way out in front of that one and pulls it upstairs into the seats. And that's going to happen a lot with Weaver. So you've had a chance to set yourself. Probably do a lot of shadow swinging in the on-deck circle. 2-2 delivery on the way, and on the 7th pitch of the at-bat, he does what he does so often. Rickard takes the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to start the game. Amazing how he is able to continually do that, especially in these first innings. And he'll drill that one down the line, and that is going to be foul. So
Yeah,
3 of them.
yeah. The other thing is, we talk about all the time, he's a Rule 5 guy. You know, in other words, they don't put him on Tampa Bay's 40-man roster, and the Orioles claim him. You have to keep him all year long. Only 89 at bats higher than Double-A.
And he walked it.
Yeah.
And right away, Weaver had his head down, but Rickard works it, and he's going to lead off walk.
Yeah, take a look at the defense. Ortega, Trout, and Calhoun. That's all 3 games out here. Escobar, Petit, Giovatella, red hot with the bat. Crone over at first, and then we saw Carlos Perez on Friday night, and then we see him again here on Sunday.
That'll bring up Manny Machado. Manny with a couple of hits, 2 for 8, including a home run and the 1 RBI. Weaver's delivery is a breaking ball that is in there for a strike. Base stealers have run on Weaver 5 out of 6 successful this season. Perez has a very high throw him out rate at 44% behind the plate. Pretty good lead for Rickard at first base. And slower than slow. Strike called again. 0-2.
So there you go. Bases empty. Runners on. Runners in scoring position. Actually a good number. Just imagine how high that earned run average is. 576 if he didn't have that number.
Yeah.
I mean,
300th career game for him, and every one has been a start. Rickard goes 0-2 delivery. Breaking ball will be foul back. I mean, not only as far as runners are concerned, you have Weaver's relatively slow move to the plate, but the ball takes so long to get there.
well, that's you know, good base runners, and you can't really do it 0-2, but you'll pick a off-speed pitch if you think it's coming, because you're right. You know, his curveball right there was 70. Fastball's at 83, so you have a little more time. Now Rickard, you know, not adept at stealing bases, but does have good speed.
See if he goes again on the 0-2 and the throw over to get him back to the bag.
And then you're 6-7, and that does usually mean that, you know, to get everything together. So there we were talking about velocity, and you know, you're talking knuckleballers, Dickey, Wright, Fister. Of course, he's up the ladder.
So now he's got Weaver's attention, which is just what you want if you're the Orioles in the first inning, to get him thinking about the running game. For Rickard on the year, 1 for 2 in stolen bases. Orioles, of course, have only 5 out of 10. Weaver set, runner goes. 0-2 delivery, got him. Chance for strike him out, throw him out, and they got it.
I don't know.
But Showalter says, wait a minute. He wants to have the video people take a look.
Well, you know, it's almost the second base umpire, John Topane. I mean, he waits. I don't know why he's looking. But again, he's in there. Does he come off the bag? And if he doesn't, I think this may be an early challenge.
But Showalter still looking.
So take a look right there. Well, I don't know. You know, kind of bang bang, and if there's not enough to change the call.
Yep, there's a challenge. Buck Showalter's indicated he wants to challenge this. So let's go to New York.
Yeah, Buck doesn't do this a lot.
No.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to win it because I just don't think it was definitive enough.
Dale Scott's the crew chief. He comes in from third base. then the umpire who made the call. Tom Paine from second. They'll get on the horn, and we'll have a replay right away. We're going to take a look at replays have been at, let's see, 46% of the calls have been overturned so far this year on challenges made by the managers.
Yeah, you really can't tell. It looks like the hand gets by his foot. Giovatello out in front of the bag.
Very close.
See, I just thought that and Tom Paine waited and waited and waited, and then he made the call. So you figure, and now the foot is in the way, but does the hand get in? Now that's probably, it looks to me, safe. But again, is it enough to change? And that's really what has to happen.
They've got a decision. Safe.
Yeah, there you go.
So it'll be a stolen base. Rickard gets his second of the year, and the call is overturned. So the Orioles get a runner in scoring position with one down on the strikeout to Manny Machado, and Adam Jones will get the RBI chance. How about the fact the Orioles last night had 2 at-bats with the runner in scoring position? They went 1 for 2, and they won the ball game 3-1. Angels went 1 for 9 and left 11 on base last night. Orioles come in 290 as a team, still third in the league in that department, and Jared Weaver with the runner on at second will have Giovatello, second baseman, holding the runner tight. And there's the off speed.
Yeah, you really have to hit off 80 miles per hour, and again, it's easy for me to say sitting up here. You just don't see that a lot. I mean, your batting practice pitchers, they usually throw harder than that. They usually stand closer so they can.
Adam has done real well, 320 with runners in scoring position this year. There's another one of the breaking balls in the dirt. And hold the runner. Perez able to keep it tight enough. Rickard will go back to the bag. And there's another advantage of when you're holding a runner tight. If you don't, Rickard's going to be at third base, because he would have had a much bigger secondary lead and gone as soon as the ball got away, but he didn't, so he's still there. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Adam. Adam with a 1 for 8 in the series. Orioles trying to get the early lead. Weaver's delivery to him. It'll go to third. Escobar looks the runner back, makes the play. Tag put on by Cron at first base as the throw pulled him off, and there are 2 down.
Yeah, it's almost like you got to move up in the box. You got to speed up his slow stuff, and that's again a challenge. Well, it hadn't meant too much of a challenge because, as you mentioned, again, all the hits and the high ERA. But the one thing he's been able to do, and we just saw it when he gets into the clutch situations, he's been, because that 236 is probably what, about 24 points, maybe 22 points lower than the average.
Davis on the off speed pitch, way out in front. Chris is 7 for 38. That's a 184 lifetime batting average against Weaver. Chris also, of course, with a home run in the series, 2 for 8, couple of RBIs. Chris will take the pitch. It'll miss down low, and a 1 ball, 1 strike count.
Yeah, down to your last out, and he just hits a single up the middle. They walk Trumbo and a 3-run home run, and that's how you win the game, because you only gave up 1 run.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Davis fouls that one back. You try and take that hardy swing on a less than hardy pitch, and it's very hard to time this thing.
Well, he does have the kind of the herniated disc in the neck, and that's been since spring training. Doesn't want to have surgery, doesn't think that's going to help, thinks he can pitch through it.
1-2. Davis got one to hit into the shift, knocked down. Giovatello's throw saves a run. A big defensive play and a glove salute from Weaver as that ball was stung. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. Into this third game of the set. A lot of Oriole fans here for the series. The lineup: Escobar, Calhoun, and Trout. Pujols, Giavotella, Cron, Ortega, Perez, and Petit. Pujols, you see the career numbers that he has put up. All those home runs.
And Ubaldo Jimenez, you can see the fastballs. It's really not how many he throws, how well he's able to command them. The breaking ball, kind of a curve ball, occasionally a hard slider, and then the changeup is the splitter. Hard to throw that when you're not ahead in the count. So again, not a lot of success against the Angels. His last game, last August, 2-hitter out here. So again, that's his only win ever.
And Escobar leading it off. Escobar is hit him hard. 348 lifetime average off Ubaldo with 1 home run. And he'll go to center field and keep it up. That's over in the gap. It'll be cut off by Jones. So in the second pitch of the ball game, Escobar delivers the first hit.
Yeah, take a look at the Oriole defense. Reimold, Jones, and Rickard. That's the outfield. Flaherty, Machado, Scope, and Davis. And then Caleb Joseph. First time he's had an opportunity to catch out here in Anaheim.
Calhoun, right fielder, 2 for 9 in the series, and also 2 for 9 lifetime against Ubaldo Jimenez.
Yeah, he cannot pitch up in the zone. Escobar got the only RBI last night on a similar pitch, hit it almost the same place.
Left-handers with the big numbers against Ubaldo. 345, 268 for the righties. Given up 5 home runs. 3 of those have been hit by left-handers. 1-5 lifetime against the Angels with a 4.28 career earned run average. 0-1. Ubaldo has one of the top 5 whip numbers on the negative side in the American League. Walks, hits for 9 innings pitched. Ubaldo's way up there. A lot of base runners on. Both these pitchers have given up more hits than innings pitched. Jimenez 55 hits in 45 innings coming in. You combine that with 24 walks, you got a lot of people on base. That ball's going to be a nubber. Played by Scope. He'll get one. Having to hold up Escobar. He wasn't sure whether Jonathan Scope was going to catch that in the air, so he started to stop, and that gave the Orioles a chance to get him at second base.
Great defense, heads up defense right there. Figure probably not going to get a double play, and you don't, but you do get the lead runner. And you're right about Yunel Escobar didn't want to get doubled up.
Well, that's one of them here in the first inning, and that will bring up Trout. Lots of youngsters on hand today. They paraded around the field, thousands of them. They were outside playing catch and everything else in the parking lot before the game today. So a lot of kids on hand for this matinee game. That is there for a strike. Trout 3 for 12 off of Jimenez. He's got a 4-game hit streak going. Only 1 hit in each of the first 2 games of this series. Jimenez delivery. And again, you've got, like Weaver, Jimenez, base stealers do steal. 7 out of 9 against Ubaldo this year.
Yeah, 23 out of 25 last year. And that's again tall, deliberate.
And that'll be inside out the other way. And our Maryland Live Casino inside the numbers.
Well, that's the batting average, and then you know, this is his 8th start. 7 of those. 5 times he's walked 4 batters. So again, you know, the bottom of the lineup obviously good, and you can see the highest of all the pitchers, and that's not where you want to be.
Again, fouled off the other way. The Orioles, like everybody else, trying to stay away from that power swing of Trout. Keep it away. He, of course, can hit the other way, but getting the home runs reduced if you can stay away from him. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Pujols waiting on deck. Runner not going, and Trout swing, miss. They got a chance. Boy, he was a long way off on that one. Caleb Joseph talking to himself, wishing he made a better throw because Calhoun was almost too far off.
Yeah, again, you see Chris Davis comes off the base because he's trying to cover the hole, and by doing that, he has to reach back. If he's on the base, might have been a lot closer. But nice pitch by Ubaldo Jimenez, a little splitter under the zone.
Well, he gets Trout on the strikeout, and that will bring up Pujols. DH 1 for 6 in the series. Picked up some walks. He's had 7 for 25 against Jimenez, and one of those 7 hits a home run. Off to a slow start. He has picked it up here in the month of May. Pujols will take that one on the inside corner for a strike.
Yeah, the Angels are averaging 4.7 runs, yet they're only 8 and 11 in the month of May. And that's because their pitching is giving up a little bit more than that. And that's not a good combination.
19 and 24, the Angels. 6.5 games out in the division, coming into all of these Sunday games. Seattle still a game and a half ahead of Texas in the American League West. Same lead the White Sox have over Cleveland in the Central. Have you noticed?
Yes.
Kansas City all of a sudden is 2.5 games out of first place and 2 games over 500.
Well, the White Sox have come back to the field after that great start. That certainly helps.
2 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way, and that'll be a chopper to short. Going to go to first, Manny Machado. Plenty of time to get it there. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Former Angel, Mr. Trumbo, when we come back. Hutchinson from Rockville, 500 for being selected and 500 more for every Orioles home run hit today. Play Home Run Rich's scratch-offs, win up to $50,000 or enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Visit mdlottery.com/baseball. Great to have you with us. I suspect some getting caught up on the Orioles after the 2 late games here. Orioles will be heading out after this to Houston, a road trip that's going to take them to 3 different time zones. Tomorrow night, Chris Tillman and Doug Fister will match up.
Tuesday,
sorry, for the day off. Mark Trumbo. Trumbo leading it off, 1 for 8. That's a home run in the series. Couple of RBIs. Weaver's delivery to him is in there for a strike. Trumbo has faced Weaver only a couple of times, 0 for 2. They were teammates for a good deal of the time. That's why he wasn't on the other side. And got one right there. He wanted, fouls it back.
No, there it is, 83. You know, at Long Beach State, 13th or 14th player picked in 2004. Boy, he's had some nice years. 18 wins, went 20-5 back in 2012.
0-2 delivered to Trumbo. Same result.
Yeah, see, that's a pretty good swing. You know, again, with 2 strikes, I mean, I think you almost have to go to hit off Jared Weaver with a 2-strike mentality where you're going to try to really not cover the whole plate, but let the ball travel. And he did right there, just missed it. Something that happened last. I mean, Shoemaker only left a couple balls in the plate all night long.
And that pitch will just miss inside. Trumbo, 255 lifetime number here at Angels Stadium. He's had 47 home runs here. All the time he spent with the Angels. 238th game that he has played in this ballpark. 1-2 pitch. Trumbo reaching off the end of the bat. Trout. High sky, lots of glare. He'll put it away for the out. Celebrate Memorial Day at Oriole Park. The Birds returning home on Monday, May 30. The Red Sox will be there. And remember, that's a 1:35 game on Memorial Day, and all fans are going to get the Orioles Memorial Day t-shirt. So make a day of it. Good seats remain, but going fast. Get yours at Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Nolan Reimold. Reimold, second game he's been in, a 1 for 4. And the other chance he had, a couple of home runs he's had here at Angels Stadium. Escobar even with the bag at third, and a big sweeping breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike count from Weaver. Weaver hasn't walked many. He's had 2 or fewer walks in all 8 of the starts this year. 1-1. Reimold to left field. Ortega, wind blowing that way.
Yeah, you better run the balls out. And Nolan doesn't really go down the line, which is unusual because it's a high sky. And we've seen high skies, Oakland here, California skies, San Francisco. Boy, sometimes you can easily lose it in the sun.
And a breeze that keeps on and off here. So they're never quite sure whether the ball is going to be affected by it, but it is blowing a little bit. Weaver wants a new baseball. It's one over into the dugout. 15th career start for him against the O's with 2 down, nobody on, second inning. Jonathan Schoop. Jonathan's had a good series with a 3 for 8, and he's going to go to the gap this time. Ortega over, left to play it on a hop. So he went after the first pitch and got what he wanted, and there's the Orioles' first hit. The day after the Orioles win and score 5 or more runs, get 50% off regular menu price online orders at papajohns.com. Promo code is Orioles5. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. And we'll bring up Caleb Joseph. Caleb went 0 for 2 off Weaver. Not in this series in the first 2 games. And the breaking ball is in there for a strike. More injuries around baseball. Bad news for Oakland. Sonny Gray, trapezius strain on the DL, and they don't like the looks of it, they said this morning. That's a big loss for them.
Yeah, as good as he is, when he has 3-4 bad outings, you know something's physically wrong.
Runner goes. Weaver turns. Tried to catch him, nap him, and he will be out. So Weaver gets him. Jonathan Schoop thought he had Weaver not looking. Obviously something the Orioles had looked at prior to the game. Giovatello comes over and lays the tag on. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. Unusual play that will end the Orioles half of the second inning. T-Mobile. Well, take a look around at some other injuries in our Major League Notebook. The Rays center fielder, what a loss. Kevin Kiermaier breaking his hand trying to make a catch. The Yankees plan to activate A-Rod. Should be back Tuesday. They begin a series against Toronto. And after being placed on a 7-day concussion list on Friday, Brock Holt of Boston is going to be examined tomorrow as they remain concerned about that, Pittsburgh. So we'll see whether or not that's going to cost him more time than the 7-day concussion deal. Gio Vitella, 10-game hit streak, couple of hits in the series, 2 for 8. He is 2 for 12 lifetime against Jimenez.
Yeah, well, he drove in a run Friday night and saved him a run this afternoon. I mean, the play on Chris Davis gets Weaver right out of the first inning.
Down to third. Ryan Flaherty, and he'll get him on a couple of pitches. A reminder that on Sunday, June 5, don't miss the next Kids Run the Bases event. Yankees will be in town for a 1:35 game, and after that game, kids 14 and under get to run the bases. They just love it. It's a memory to be made, so join in. Go to Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD for tickets. That's on Sunday, June 5. Angels played a man short for 2 games. The first 2 games of the series, they did not have a bench player, extra bench player available. Only had 24. Today they have called up Lucas Litke, who is a pitcher, a left-hander. So he is in the bullpen. So they filled the roster to 25 for the ball game today. 0-1 pitch taken for a strike. It had something to do with Tim Lincecum's agreement when he signed the deal this week, and was added to the 25-man roster. And Lincecum, of course, has got to get down and work for about 3 weeks before he's going to be ready to pitch. The Angels saying they hope he'll be here somewhere around June 9 or 10.
Yeah, they get kind of Billy Epler, their president of baseball operations, gave him a 10-day window between the 9th and the 19th.
Pitch is taken down low. And obviously, with all the injuries suffered in their rotation, taking a big hit because of it, they really do hope that Tim Lincecum is going to be able to add to their job. And that is going to be a walk with 1 away. So Cron is on with a free pass. First surrendered by Jimenez. 1 on, 1 out. Ortega coming to the plate.
Yeah,
Ortega's playing really well for them.
Yeah, the more you see of him, I'm coming out this morning. I'm going, who does he remind me? And the Orioles have a Cuban outfielder, Henry Urrutia, because and Henry, he kind of got rushed to the big leagues, but his ability hit the ball the other way, and that's what Ortega can do.
Ortega will take a strike. He's 2 for 8 in the series. Ortega came up from AAA on Tuesday. Second time he's been with the big club this year. And when he's been given a chance, he's been getting hits. He's hit 13 of the last 15 at the majors. That one, Adam Jones will track down. Runner tags. Throw comes into second base. Not in time. So Cron moves up with a fly ball. Ortega is second out of the inning.
Yeah, good read by C.J. Cron. The ball is going to get to the warning track. Plays in front of you. We saw it last night. Trout made a great throw. And Ortega doesn't want to be hitting a lot of fly balls. I mean, in a perfect world, Adam had enough time to get back a little bit quicker and actually have momentum coming. And I don't know if it would have made a difference. Made a strong throw. But again, that extra second and a half makes a big difference.
Carlos Perez, runner at second base, 2 down. Perez, a couple of RBIs in the series on 1 hit. He's 1 for 3. And he blooped that one to right field. Got to be played or it's a run. It's going to fall in. It gets bounced around out there, and that will score Cron. So Cron's base running created the opportunity. And Perez takes advantage of it. He's now 4 for 21 with runners in scoring position, and the Angels are up 1-0.
Yeah, big RBI on Friday night. So this is the best contact team in the baseball. Doesn't hit it very hard, but he finds a hole. And like a quarterback trying to look into the secondary and drop one in, and he does.
Well, the Angels get on top and a 2-out RBI. Perez on at first, and Petit, the number 9 hitter, is producing. He had a double, 2 singles, and a walk in the ball game last night. He's got a 3-game hit streak, 4 for 7, with an RBI in this series. Delivery to him by Jimenez is in there for a strike.
Yeah, all the hits to the middle of the field. A couple of rockets back up the middle, and then a breaking ball off of Kevin Gausman, hit it over the head of Adam Jones in center field, base of the wall.
Gregorio Petit, ground ball to short. Scope goes to second. Machado goes to him, and they will record the out. However, 1 run on 1 hit. It's that 1-out walk to Crone that crossed the plate and gave the Angels the lead. To Miller time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. So Weaver gets a run to work with as the Orioles will bat in the 3rd. Joseph in the 8th spot. Flaherty's batting 9th. Rickert and then Machado. Caleb Joseph was at the plate on the throw out of Jonathan Scope on the 1-4 play to get him at second base. Can't even call that a delayed steal. It was just an attempt to run.
By a team that doesn't run.
No, and now you know why. Caleb Joseph, a breaking ball is in there for the strike, so he'll start his at bat over again. Orioles have had 25 home runs in the last 12 games. That ball is a towering pop up to left, high sky. Ortega. Leadoff man retired. Ryan Flaherty hitting in the 9 spot, playing at 3rd coming up. Not in the stands, no problem. Text Orioles 29292 for in-game alerts that you can't miss. Bring the Birdland action to your phone. That's Orioles 29292. Flaherty with a 1 for 3 in the series. Again getting a start at third base. Buck Showalter talking this morning about keeping Manny at short while Hardy is out. He said a lot of it has to do with routine. I don't want to be shuffling him back and forth between short and third now that he's gotten himself into a routine as to how he prepares for a game at short. 0-1, that'll be taken down low.
And the other thing, we were talking a little bit about it before the game started. You have Paul Giannis who can come up and play third or shortstop. You got Flaherty who looks like he's maybe getting a few more hits. Should have had 2 last night.
Flaherty rockets that one, but another atom ball. That'll be hauled in by Calhoun.
So you can in the short term, and J.J. Hardy went on the disabled list on the 3rd of May. So, and they played well. I mean, since he's been gone, and really no reflection on him. I mean, got something like 12-5, which is a credit to the depth in the organization, and the fact that you know, one thing about Flaherty, he can save you with glove. Maybe not, the bat is not hitting as well as he'd like.
So 2 quick outs here in the 3rd inning.
Well, we were seeing Jared Weaver do a right-handed version of Jamie Moyer towards the end of his career, where you change speeds. You know, you always talk about it, but changing speeds is an unbelievable way of getting hitters out, because they seems like they're better off to hit 92 to 95 than to hit 90.
Rickert to short. Yeah. That'll be hauled in on the soft line drive. Joey Rickert retired. Weaver sets him down on 8 pitches. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd. Angels up. Night, a behind to a head home run with 2 outs in the 9th inning or later, when the team has been shut out to that point. That's the context. Last time done, the Mets' Lucas Duda did it to win a game over the Astros in 14. The last time for the Orioles, Javi Lopez off Keith Foulke to give the Orioles a 2-1 lead at Fenway in 04, only to see the Red Sox came back and actually won that thing. And then last night, a tremendous start by Matt Shoemaker. He entered Saturday's game ERA 8.49. Major leagues earned run numbers way up in the air. No pitcher with an ERA that high coming into a ball game had ever had a dozen strikeouts ever, and without allowing a run. That's what Shoemaker did last night with an 8.49 ERA coming in. That ball in the air to center field, hit pretty good by Escobar. Jones back, racing, looking. It'll hit right off the base of the wall. Escobar is on his way to second base. He's got a leadoff double, and he's 2 for 2.
Yeah, it looks appears one of those days where you better not give up a lot of runs, and we saw that last night. Kevin Gausman was able to match Shoemaker for most of the game. Did give up the 1 run, and then the bullpen came in. Well, the ball does carry better here, and you know, I think all you got to do is watch your counterpart, Mike Trout, a really good center fielder, and he plays very deep. Why? Because the ball does carry. And again, you just never know what kind of pitches your pitcher's going to make. It's not like Ubaldo's been pitching that well, so you know, maybe a step deeper, especially in the daytime here.
That'll be hit number 3 for the Angels. Here's Calhoun, hit into a fielder's choice his first time up. Leadoff man on 2 out of 3 innings. Jimenez has retired. 64% of leadoff batters this year, not quite good enough, especially with a number of runners that end up getting on against him. 1-0 delivery, check swing and around. Bob Davidson, home plate umpire, makes the call on it. 1-1.
Yeah, well, you know what Cole Calhoun wants to do: drive him in or get him over. And then Buck Showalter, who manages the Orioles, has to make a decision. How do I want to play Trout? bring the infield in, but of course none of that happens if he doesn't.
Runner goes, and that's going to be a base hit into right field. Trying to get him home. It stopped at third. No play at the plate. Hard shot. Calhoun the RBI with Escobar running, and a 2-0 lead for the Angels.
Well, again, deliberate to the plate. Mike Scioscia certainly knows that. This is not a team that runs a lot. It came in with 13 steals. So the intention is, and you can see him go, nobody holding him on, and then he gets a good pitch, rips it into right field, RBI, base hit. Kind of sets up the inning.
21 RBIs for Calhoun, and that brings Trout to the plate. He struck out his first time up. Runner at first, 2 runs in on 4 hits, and the pitch will be taken down low for a ball. Trout, of course, had a slow start. Not anymore. 348 with the 9 home runs, 27 RBIs over the last 35 games. 1-0 delivery by Jimenez, and that's going to be taken low, and he'll fall behind 2-0.
Yeah, he said it's not exactly that I'm wild, but he really is wild because he can't command the strike zone. I'm not all over the place. I'm just missing, and you saw it right there. Those 2 pitches. You fly open, you're gone. You don't stay behind your pitches. There's another one. And then when you get 2-0 and you know who's at the plate, you try to throw a splitter, you miss. And this is how you get into big innings, and especially the second time through a lineup, and especially when you're into the middle of the lineup.
2-4 record, 5.6 ERA, 3-0 delivery taking, and not even close on any of them. He just pitched around even with the runner on. So the second walk of the ball game, 3 up, 3 on, and 1 in so far here in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, and then the other problem is when you're wild as far as walking people, then you can get wild in the middle of the strike zone. And when you're used to throw 96, 97, doesn't do that anymore. But he's probably average fastballs between 90 and 91. That's very hittable.
He's walked 4 in each of the last 2 games. Pujols will take the pitch for a strike. He grounded out his first time up. 2 on, nobody out. Looking for the ground ball now to try and turn that double play. Jimenez delivers. Pujols takes another strike.
Yeah, and if you look at this lineup, Albert Pujols is the only Angel, at least in the first 8 hitters, that does not hit well with runners in scoring position. And he's at 214.
Pretty amazing for the veteran. 36 years old, but he's going to hit one here. That'll fall in left field. Reimold over to get it. Calhoun will score. Trout the third, going to try for 2. Throw off the mark, or they would have had him. And it will be a double and an RBI for Pujols. 2 runs in the 3rd, and a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, tried to sneak a 91-mile-per-hour fastball up and in, and he really put a good swing on it. I mean, can you get the bat head out in front? Look how short he is to the ball. So again, it's a very compact swing. They're playing over in left center. And then Reimold, long time to get to it. As you mentioned, throw off the line. And Albert not only drives in a run, but gets all the way to second base.
28th RBI of the season for Pujols. There's still nobody out. And there are 2 more in scoring position here in the 3rd inning. For Jimenez, last outing against Seattle was the 4 1/3 inning, 6-run, 5-hit, 4-walk affair. And he's heading in that same direction here. Giovitella up, will take the pitch for a ball. Grounded out his first time up, 2 for 13. Lifetime off the Orioles starter. By hit streak, at least, he's their hottest hitter in the lineup. 1-0 delivery on the way to him, and that's going to be outside for a ball. During his 10-game hit streak, he's gone 15 for 38. It is a career high hit streak for the 28-year-old second baseman. Orioles squeeze the outfield towards the middle on Giovitella. 2-0 delivery. Went up after one. coming into this game. First two games, Angels were 4 for 19 with runners in scoring position. They're now 4 for 4 in this game. Record up with it. Runner will be held at third into the cutoff man. Base hit. Giavotella, he gets an RBI. And a tic-tac inning for the hitters here as it's now a 4-0 game.
Well, that's their approach. The least amount of strikeouts of any team in the American League, 10th in runs. We never know it. I mean, what's this approach? Just hit the ball where it's pitched. That's how you get the hitting streak to 11. I mean, that's a fabulous approach. It's a very hittable pitch, and that complicates things. That's why Dave Wallace comes out to talk to him. Dylan Bundy getting loose for the Orioles. Dom Sheedy, the bullpen coach, in the jacket.
Now let's take a look at our Express staff. Express Care, a LifeBridge health partner. For locations, visit whywaitintheer.com.
Well, and again, if you look down there, obviously, you know, Evaldo on that list, but so is Jared Weaver. And what do the Angels want to do? They want to get him a lot of runs, and it looks like they're on the way to do that. And of course, if you're Evaldo and he hasn't been able to do it, you want to just make your team think they have a chance to win today.
Nobody out. Runners at first and third. 3 runs in. Crone up. Drew a walk. Scored in the second. C.J. Crone, their first baseman. He's going to get a base hit. That'll get down the line. Pujols is going to score over to third base. Giavotella. They're going to stop him. Renicky with a stop sign on, and another double. Crone a double and an RBI, and Jimenez can get nobody out here in the third.
Well, you know, you look at all the scouting reports, Gary, and what happens is they go, can he command the ball inside? No. Where's his strength? It's out over the plate, and that's how you get the hits they're getting. I mean, that's just an approach. I'm going to let the ball travel. I'm not going to overswing. There's a little bit of luck to it because it stays fair.
Crone gets his 18th RBI after Giavotella picked up his 13th. There are 2 more in scoring position. Still nobody out, and that'll bring up Ortega. Yeah, Ortega flied to center.
You're kind of seeing a tutorial on not hitting home runs, but still scoring a lot of runs. Just with a, you know, hit it where it's pitched type approach.
Infield is drawn in. Giavotella's the lead runner. They'll try and cut this off if they can.
Yeah, take a look and trying to use the front side, and you know, actually that's pretty good, but just again, you know, he's so tall, sometimes he just can't get over the front side to get the ball down.
Davis going to come home. Here's the throw, and they got him. Had the plate covered enough. Giavotella couldn't find it soon enough, and Joseph puts the tag on, and once again Chris Davis makes a play at the plate, this time with Caleb Joseph.
Yeah, perfect throw, and again, you're down by 5 runs. You don't want to give up anymore. You play your infield in at first and third, and then a perfect throw. Flaherty did it last night. Davis did it on Friday night, and Chris Davis once again here on Sunday afternoon.
So there is the first out of the inning here in the third. The 8th hitter will come up for the Angels. Carlos Perez, their catcher, who had an RBI and a base hit in the first inning. Runners now at first and third as Crone moves to third. Shattered bat, bobble by Flaherty, throw to first, not in time. It'll be an error and a run scored.
Yeah, I have no doubt that the splintered bat bothered him. And they're going to call that an error, as it should be. But the bat almost just went to actually the same amount. I mean, look where the bat head ends, right to his left. Usually a play that he makes, didn't net.
Big inning here in the third, and Caleb Joseph out to chat with Jimenez. A 6-0 lead. Perez will be credited with his 2nd RBI of the ball game. That makes 10 on the year for the catcher. And the Angels have batted around as Gregorio Petit comes up. 6 runs, 7 hits. Runners now at first and second base. And a ground ball up the middle. Chance for 2. Manny Machado 1. Jonathan Schoop guns it over, and they will get the double play. The damage done. A 5-run third for the Angels. Good double play to end it for the Orioles, but now the Oriole bats will have to come alive with the Angels up 6-0. Fourth inning of Orioles baseball brought to you by the RAV4 Hybrid. All-wheel drive and unexpected performance. Visit buyatoyota.com. Gary Thorne and Jim Palmer here at Angels Stadium. Angels looking to avoid being swept. Now the Orioles are trying to get a sweep against them for the first time in Anaheim since August of 2010.
Well, they get Weaver almost 6 runs a game, and they've done that in the first 3. And what did Buck Showalter say in his pregame presser? They talked about momentum, the home run, the Weaver home run. He says it's as good as today's or tomorrow's starting pitching.
Yep. So Manny Machado will lead it off as we go to the 4th. Showed bunt, takes it for a ball. 6 runs, 7 hits, 3 left on for the Angels. No runs, 1 hit, an error, and 1 left on for the Orioles. Base hit by Jonathan Schoop, 2nd inning. The only one so far off Weaver. Machado on the off-speed pitch will take. It will miss. And the count goes to 2-0. Weaver's pitch not even close. No. And Manny just put the bat on his shoulder.
Well, long inning, and you try to come out if you're a veteran. And Jarrett certainly is in that category, and you try to use all 9 warm-up pitches, maybe even sneak in 1 or 2 more.
That'll be there for a strike. So 3-1 on Manny Machado. And he's moved out of the top 10 in average coming into today's play. Still up there among the hit leaders with the 53 he has put up. He is tied for 4th. Xander Bogaerts of Boston leads with 60 starting the day. Weaver's delivery to him, and that's a strike on the outside corner. Manny can't believe it. He is gone after getting ahead on the count.
Yeah, that's now 5 strikeouts in the last 6 at bats. Take a look at your Mercedes pitch track. Boy, after last night, how could you ever question any pitches? The old Hank Bauer, my first manager, close enough to call. Son, bases loaded in Cleveland, 1-0 ball game. Davey Johnson, our good friend, took one off of Gary Bell. And Hank said, close enough to call, close enough to swing it.
And the pitch will strike there.
And you learn a lesson. Getaway day, 6-0. Swing the bat, boys.
The bat. Jones grounded out his first time up. Adam with the 0-1 delivery to him down to 3rd. Off the glove of Escobar. Petit will back it up. That'll be a base hit. Adam gets his 2nd hit of the series, and the Orioles have their 2nd hit of the game.
Again, hard hit. Tries to sidestep it a little bit because doesn't really have time. And I think scores, they look at how hard the ball is hit. The real good third baseman. Of course, Escobar playing third the last couple of years, but he's a shortstop.
That'll bring Chris Davis to the plate with the runner on. Shift employed. He grounded out into that shift Giovatello made a really nice play on him. Wow. 74 on that one.
Well, the Orioles do have an opportunity to score some runs, and I pitch games where you get a big lead early. You want to get 5 innings, qualify. You want to pitch if you're a veteran longer than that. But Scioscia wants to win this game. You got to make Mike Scioscia think that maybe Weaver is not going to be able to get enough outs and get somebody up in the bullpen. And to do that, you got a couple, like the Angels did. I mean, have some quality at bats. Doesn't always have to be home runs.
The 0-2 count on Chris. And the pitch will be outside to him. Boy, Chris, quarter of the way through the season now, believe it or not. 243 average. The 10 home runs, 27 RBIs. 1-2 pitch by Weaver. Came with a fastball and got him. 3 Ks.
Yeah, so he goes up the ladder, and this is 85, hardest ball that he's thrown. Whether it's a strike or not, Perez brings it down into the. Watch the glove move. That tells me maybe he thought it was high. And just guys to bring it down, and Bob Davison certainly in tune with that pitch.
Trumbo flied out to center his first time up. Jones still at first base, 2 down. And Weaver's breaking ball. Trumbo talking to himself.
Yeah, 68. That was Tim Wakefield's speed on most of his knuckleballs. Fastball topped out about 78.
It's not easy to throw a pitch at that speed for a strike.
Would you ever repel?
I've repelled at a lot of things.
No. I mean, have you ever jumped off the cliff and hoped that the rope holds?
No.
Well, that's what happens when you throw a 68 and a fastball at 83. You're hoping they're not going to hit it, and you have to trust it. Just like you trust the rope.
Trust the rope.
You got to trust that you can change speeds and stay out of the middle of the plate.
Breaking ball.
Yeah, there's 68 again, and you're deceptive. I mean, that's the one thing he brings to the plate, and he's got the guts to go out there, and they said, hey, maybe you need neck surgery. Nope, I can pitch at this speed. And that's why, I mean, it's a compliment to Jamie Moyer. He won 269 games. At the end of his career, he used his off-speed stuff like most pitchers use their fastball.
1-2 delivery on the way, and there's that breaking ball, and he got him. So Weaver gets his 4th strikeout. He strikes the side out here in the 4th inning. The Orioles no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. He's weaving slowly. Strikeouts and hitters looking back. This writer, Jeff Miller for the Orange County Register, went around to a number of the Angel players, said, all right, what if you can use a robot? What if you can triangulate instead of a home plate umpire? His conclusion, all right, so maybe baseball isn't quite ready to turn the balls and strikes over to robots that continue to invade our lives. Perhaps it's best to embrace the old ways, the imperfect methods that brought us here. That seems to be what the players want, even if at times it drives them crazy. There wasn't any Angel player, pitcher or position player, who was in favor of doing what they've done in tennis, and that's put in the electronic strike zone. 0-1 delivery to Escobar, taken down low.
Well, what the Cyclops, I think, is what they use in tennis. I mean, can you imagine McEnroe arguing with Cyclops? No, that wasn't going to happen. I mean, do you throw dirt on the robot?
Yeah.
No, you know, and I always also thought, and take a look at what's going on here. I mean, this is Escobar gets thrown out. Can't believe it because it's strike 3 and they're down by 2 runs. Gets tossed. He'll throw the helmet. And we'll see how expensive that little helmet toss is.
2-1's going to go to short. Manny Machado with the outfield grass. Strong arm.
You know, and the interesting thing is, and you know, I don't really know Joe Smith, but he threw the home run to Wieters. He said none of that would have happened if I had done my job. So I mean, that's talk about manning up and taking responsibility. But I always thought that the humanness of umpires and the fact that it is a tough job and that you see emotions, whether it's from the players, from the umpires, part of the game.
I agree. I agree.
I hate the challenges. I mean, I know it's maybe getting some of the calls better, but it just takes the human element out of the game to me. It slows it down.
The spontaneity's gone.
Yeah.
And it's happening in all the sports. I mean, we sit around now. We don't know if it was a touchdown or not. We got to wait 3 minutes. The NBA, I mean, every other minute they're over the table trying to get the clock fixed, and it takes 3 minutes to put a second back on. Who cares? And in baseball, I was very much in favor of the replay rule. I thought it was good. I don't anymore. I don't like it. I just think it's taking too much time. You don't know if it's a home run or it isn't. Fans are standing up. They don't know if they applaud or they boo. I mean, leave the human element in and get on with the game. Plus, it's taking way too long to get the rulings from New York, as Buck says, from the unidentified umpires. Every umpire on the field's identified, but we don't know who's making the call in New York. Why shouldn't they have to bear some responsibility by name, just as they would if they were out here on the field? 2-1 delivery on the way, and there's your rant for the day. I go with what I said from day one. You put a 5th umpire on the crew. You sit him in the ballpark. He's upstairs. He reviews every single play. There are no challenges. He thinks something went wrong. He buzzes down, says that was a base hit. It wasn't an out, and you get it taken care of and leave it at that. You could have paid for the 5th umpire with what you spent building the studio in New York. It cost tens of millions of dollars. Pay the umpires.
You got a
second rant for the day.
That's right. You got to tell us how you really feel about this.
3-all 2-strike count on Calhoun.
You might have to go to Houston just to use the off day.
I'm going home. That ball ripped into the corner, and a nice catch.
Oh yes, very nice.
Very fine play made right there. No hesitation whatsoever.
The ball guy
just reached out and caught it.
Yeah.
And there's one that won't be forgotten. So the count remains at 3-2. Jimenez, Calhoun will go down, the second strikeout victim for Ubaldo.
Yeah, Ubaldo, I mean, you know, he's a veteran. He's a fabulous guy. I thought he said it best today. He said, listen, hey, when I'm not doing what I want to do, I hurt my, I don't feel good about it. I know my teammates don't feel good about it. The fans, I'm letting people down. So the only thing you can do when you're struggling a little bit is try to get better. And he's got a chance, even though they do have the off day tomorrow in Houston, they'll just pitch another 3 innings or so. I mean, it gets I always thought to get your ERA down if you had a bad inning early.
Put up in the air, and that will be back into the seats off the bat of Mike Trout.
And I'll leave you with one other question. You have a chance to maybe right the ship a little bit by actually having some quality innings here.
Sure.
And a more positive attitude the next time you go out there.
I mean, a 5-run, 5-hit 3rd inning, then you come back, you got a chance to retire the side in order. Trout drew a walk and scored in the 3rd. He has also struck out. Will plunk that one in the air towards center where Adam Jones is, and that is what Jimenez does. Comes right back with a 1-2-3 inning. So the Orioles down, and the Oriole bats coming up are Honda Do-Ups, Reimold, Scope, and Joseph. There's nothing to hide. And by visitannapolis.org. Create your moment at visitannapolis.org. The crowd on hand for the early start Sunday game here in Anaheim. A 6-0 lead. We go to the 5th inning. Jared Weaver against Nolan Reimold. He takes the breaking ball for a strike. Reimold flied out to left field. His first time up. Orioles come into the day leading the majors in home runs with 62. They are in the battle with Tampa Bay for that lead. Tampa Bay was 61 starting the day. I think Tampa Bay has already finished their game. They lost to Detroit 9-4 today. 0-2 pitch. Chopped over by the dugout.
Yeah, one of the great things, I mean, other than the weather, there's always going to be a lot of fans here. You can pretty much see almost all the games except the ones out on the West Coast. They're almost all concluded, especially the night games out here.
Weaver leaves that one outside.
We got to put a dent in the 6-0 deficit. Get back in the game.
Plenty of at-bats to do it if they could find a way to get to Weaver.
9 runs on Friday night.
Popped up. Perez back and will not have a play. A 1-ball 2-strike count on Reimold. Coming into the game, as far as the offense is concerned, the Orioles ranked 2nd in average and 4th in runs. The on-base percentage now is 2nd in the American League. 9th in walks. 1-2 delivery. Reimold down to 3rd. He had to go up and chop that one and broke his bat doing so.
Yeah, they're kind of the team, and they won 2 out of 3 against the Orioles in Baltimore and Seattle. I mean, they're 2nd in runs, 2nd in ERA. A lot of people, I mean, they're a better team than they have been, or at least everybody thought on paper they would be an improved club last year, but this year they really are. Gary Dipoto, the general manager here, went up there, made a lot of moves.
Put up in the air, short or 3rd. Who can see it best? 3rd. Hauled in by Escobar. Well, don't miss your final chance to take advantage of Birdland's best family value. It's the Orioles Dugout Club. Membership options are for all kids 14 and under. You get the choice of 2 5-game packages, including game tickets, a club hat, sunglasses, and a lot more. And family and friends can get tickets in those club games for as little as $6. So take a look at it. Orioles.com/dugout club. Memberships are almost sold out. Pitch is down low for a ball. Jonathan Scope, base hit, 2nd inning. Jones, base hit, 4th inning. That's it for the Orioles off Weaver. That breaking ball is there.
Yeah, that might have been the changeup at 74. And, he's pitched up in the zone, and again, you got to remember, way on the right side of the rubber, across his body.
There's the heater.
Yeah, you don't see it. 84. There's his pitching coach on the right, Charles Nagy.
2-1 delivery by Weaver is a nasty breaking ball. Wow. 2-2.
Well, you just don't hit 67. Not even in batting practice. I mean, he sells it. I mean, he might even grunt like Nolan Ryan did. I mean, gives you one of those, and then the ball
floats. Another pop up, 3rd base. Escobar. 2 down here in the 5th. Let's take a look at our PNC minor league report. It's brought to you by PNC.
Yeah,
the Achiever.
Yeah, he's a young man, and you could see out of Campbell University. So again, you just look at him, and he looks like he reminds a lot of people of Tim Raines, and switch hitter. Look at the numbers. Pretty good outfielder.
Another name to keep an eye on.
Yeah, Wayne Kirby said he just got better. He worked with him a couple times at spring training, and he said, great aptitude to try to improve and to be compared. And that's how I think you look at young players, and you hope they'll have the kind of career that Tim Raines, which is kind of a borderline Hall of Fame career. But we'll see. But nice to have young players with talent.
Weaver, 1 ball, 1 strike count, 2 down. Retired the side in order in the 3rd. Trying to do it again here in the 5th. Just missed a little bit low with that one. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Caleb Joseph flied out to left field. His first time up. Two-1 to the Oriole catcher and trying to hit the wiffle ball. 2-2. And came back with his fastball at 84.
And it seemed like it was about 100. When I first came to the big leagues, Stu Miller, one of the great relievers, great changeup pitchers of all time, and I'm out in Dodger Stadium standing at home plate. He threw me a fastball after changeups. I almost had a heart attack.
You got to hollow that one. If it stays fair, down into the corners, it got enough. Catch made. Ortega timed it right up against the wall, and the Orioles are retired in order. 3 up, 3 down. Weaver with a little defensive help, protecting a 6-0 lead. The Lumber, and that's what the Angels did in the 3rd inning. 5 runs and 5 hits. Calhoun, Pujols, Giavotella, Cron all got early RBIs. Perez would add another. And the Angels, by the time it was done, had the lead. Ubaldo, though, came back and retired the side in order in that 4th inning. He will work near in the bottom of the 5th. Pujols, Giavotella, and Cron. Pujols the RBI double in that 3rd, 1 for 2, and will take the pitch up high for a ball. And then his pitch will catch the outside corner for a strike. One. Rafael Palmeiro next on the list, home run wise, all time for Pujols. Pujols has 568. Palmeiro 569. Palmeiro's 12th. Pujols is 13th all time in the home run department. 1-2 pitch by Jimenez off the end of the bat to left field. Very deep. Reimold diving and makes a nice catch. Nolan Reimold coming in a hurry. Got that glove turned the right way, and Pujols denied a base hit.
Yeah, you're right about playing deep. As the ball does carry the daytime, gets a good jump, stays with it, and very, very nice. That's why the error by Flaherty is such a rarity for this Oriole defense. Whether you're an outfielder or an infielder, or they make the plays that can be made. There's one of them.
12th start of the year, by the way, for Reimold in left field. And he really helps getting that leadoff man out. Giavotella had an RBI base hit in the third. He's 1 for 2. He's extended his hit streak now to a career high 11 games. A Major League 255 career hitter out of New Orleans, Louisiana. Giavotella last year 272 with the Angels. They chopped that the third. Flaherty will play it on the hop. Makes the running throw and records the out. The Orioles are going to return to Camden Yards on Memorial Day. That's Monday, May 30. And it will start a 4-game series with the Red Sox. After the Memorial Day matinee at 1:35, Orioles Red Sox battle night games Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So paint the park orange. This should be a great series. For tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD starting on Memorial Day.
Yeah, the Orioles up at least going into this Sunday. 2 games up in the loss column. Both of the teams with 26 wins.
Cron goes after the first pitch. Adam Jones took only 8 pitches and he retires the side in order. Take that double play in the third now. He's retired 8 in a row. For the achiever in you, and by American Standard Heating and Air. It's their all-star sales event, up to $1,100 in instant rebates or 0% APR for 36 months. Weaver doing his stretching exercises. Buck Showalter talked about him pitching on these Sundays, and listen carefully to what he said.
You got Weaver and the Rocks today, so it'll be a challenge. They always like to pitch him in day games.
What he's talking about are those rocks out there that end up being somewhat in the batter's eye in center field, right there.
For him.
For him.
Because he's over on the third base side. He throws across his body, and
you have a white ball coming out of a mostly white background.
And you know, Buck, a very positive guy. It almost sounds like his hitters listen to him. I mean, you know, normally it's kind of like, you know, you're about to win the U.S. Open, and I'm caddying for you. There's a lake on the left, and you got a 1-shot lead, and I go, Gary, hey, good luck, but just don't hit it that lake on the left. So
I hit one in the lake on the left.
Right, and there you know, all of a sudden that lake becomes a lot bigger and kind of moves over in the middle of the fairway. But you're right. I mean, because deception, and of course he's got a deceptive windup.
And the fastball. Flaherty's gone.
And Bob Davison says, you know, I got a flight in Ontario, and it's a kind of a long way with traffic, and there have been a lot of questionable pitches today. You know, his nickname Bob Davison because there was a stretch where he called a lot of balking Bob Davison, and Ryan thinks it might have been a little bit in.
Well, as we said at the top, know your umpire.
Yes.
This is consistent with Bob's history. He's got a strike zone that favors pitchers.
Yeah, I think the what we saw last night, and Mike Scioscia talked about it, about Dale Scott, where there were a couple of questionable pitches in the ninth when they had squandered a 1-0 lead, is that he's a good umpire. We just had a bad inning, and that's what it looked like it happened.
Yep.
Maybe a couple of pitches at critical times.
1-0 breaking ball. Weavers doesn't even worry about showing that pitch. I mean, you can see it's coming because he snaps it off. When he's got his arm way up in the air, you know it's going to be that breaking ball. That ball in the air to right, not deep. Calhoun coming. It's a base hit. No one could get there in time, so the Orioles will pick up a single with one down here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, you got everybody converging, and you talked about it the other night. Earl Weaver used to always say, yeah, another ball in the Bermuda, lost in the Bermuda Triangle, and there sometimes that it is where the right fielder can't get it, second baseman, Giavotella flying out there. Tough play for Cron at first because the ball's over his head into the sun in the high sky.
Burkett will start a new streak of reaching base. He had his 13-game streak of getting on base ended with an 0 for 4 and nothing else last night. Has had a walk and a single here. Burkett on. Here's Manny Machado, breaking ball. He has struck out twice in this ball game. He had 3 Ks against Matt Shoemaker, who struck out 12, career high in the ball game last night.
I read something where that may have been the first time he ever struck out 3 times in a game.
Yeah. 0-1 pitch on the way and a breaking ball. Weaver's trying to equal that. Down goes to 0-2.
He just can't read. He can't read the speed of the ball.
Manny at 278 in May, coming in 5 home runs this month. 0-2 pitch, runner off first, and he's got him for 3.
Well, I know this sounds silly, but one of the great hitters here in the Twins, especially with the Angels, was Rod Carew, 7 batting titles. And I once played in a softball game. He could not hit slow pitch softball. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, he was as good a hitter as you're ever going to face. Contact hitter, could bunt with 2 strikes. When we played a CBS game, slow pitch, I go, might have to have a new strategy. The slower you throw it, the
less
better.
likely.
Yeah.
Adam Jones a base hit, and he's grounded out. Rickett over there at first base now with 2 away. 6 strikeouts in the ball game for Weaver. Rickett a decent lead over there, not going though, and the swing and a miss. 6 strikeouts is a season high, and 5 in a couple of games against Tampa Bay and St. Louis. 15 is his career high back in 11. 0-1 count with 2 down. Rickett off first base, breaking ball, Adam, high, center, Trout. We'll put it away. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th.
Geico game highlights. The Angels would score 5 in the third, 5 hits, a walk, and Pujols would be a big part of it. Now it's 0-2. He's 1 for 6 in the series. They try to come in. He hits a double down the line, drives in a run, would eventually lead to the 5-run inning. So a big hit by a guy that came in with the lowest number, 214, with runners in scoring position. The big hit for Pujols and the Angels. Geico 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
Waldo Jimenez working through this ball game after that third inning, retiring the side in order in both the fourth and fifth. That one tagged. That's going to go deep into right center, and Jones will get there and haul it in right up against the wall on that fly ball out.
Yeah, got there easily. Yeah, pretty nice swing by Ortega. And it's almost like Ubaldo said, you know what, I'm going to be a little more Weaver-like.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take a little bit off, and he's used all his pitches. Of course, I'm sure he will say, I thought I threw all the right pitches back in that 5-run third. It just didn't work out.
And the pitch taken for a strike. Perez reached on an error. Did pick up an RBI and had another one on a single in the second inning. 0-1 pitch inside. Orioles have had singles in this ball game, 3 of them, 1 walk. The only base runners the Orioles have. In fact, that walk was a leadoff walk for Joey Rickard. That one in the air to center. Jones would come. It's going to fall in for a base hit. So Adam started back on that just a bit. That one right at him. Perez has got his second hit. Visit Orioles.com/vote orange now. The All-Star game coming up. Vote at least 5 times. Select the O's as your team, and you'll be entered to win the All-Star jersey that'll be signed by the Oriole All-Stars. Vote at least 20 times. Select the O's. You get a promo code to buy one get one ticket for the July series against the Rockies. That's Orioles.com/vote orange. 6 runs on 8 hits now for the Angels. Petit is hit into a fielder's choice and a double play. Runner at first with 1 out, and the pitch outside for a ball. Jimenez working in the 6th inning with that 1-5 mark against the Angels in his career, in danger of having that extended in the wrong direction as far as he's concerned. The Oriole bats can come alive, and they've certainly done that before this year. Ball put up in the air, back and over the screen.
Well, 26 Angels have come to the plate, and they've struck out twice. Gives you an idea of, again, a team that kind of hits to contact. Dylan Bundy for the 2nd time.
So this will be it for a minute.
Yeah, pitch count. I mean, as it turned out, it's quite reasonable.
Very.
72 pitches. This will be number 73. Well, it speaks volumes, and you know, you got a veteran guy that he's going to be disappointed because of the big inning. As a fellow former starter, you always try to stay away from that. Can't always do it.
One-two delivery, and that one's going to be up high.
Yeah, I kind of look at you come out, you know, you'd lost 3 and a 4 in Baltimore. You come out here, you bludgeoned them on Friday night. Easily could have lost last night. If you win, and this game's certainly not over, you win 2 out of 3, and you move on. Won another series.
Swing and a miss. Good pitch. And has got that one down and in.
Yeah,
nice. It's the 2nd out.
Yeah, the little split-fingered fastball. So there's the 3rd strikeout in 27 batters.
So 2 down. Runner on at first base is Perez, and that will bring up Escobar. Top of the order. He's picked up a single and a double, and he is grounded out. On the road this year, Waldo Jimenez 0-2 with an ERA of 5.73. Had a loss to Seattle his last time out, non-decision against Minnesota before that. 0-1 pitch. Wow. Right on the back of that hand and or bat.
Yeah, must have hit him because he's taken off the protector. But nobody's moving. Or maybe he's just tightening it up.
It'll be a foul ball. He was scrunching the wrist.
Yeah, got the bottom of the bat.
Yep. So a 2-strike count. Breaking ball way outside.
Yeah, and I don't think he's
by Joseph.
Albert Bell, when he was with the Orioles, he got hit by a pitch and refused to go to first until the umpire said, no, you got to go, because he didn't. Number one, he didn't like being hit. Number two, he wanted to do some damage against the pitcher.
A unique reaction. Escobar, that one's going to skip away and down to second base. Goes Perez. That will be a wild pitch. That'll be the 4th wild pitch of the year by Jimenez.
Yeah, it looks like it's a little split-fingered fastball, so it goes down. Caleb Joseph doesn't backhand it, tries to slide in front of it, unable to do that. And of course, you know what the Angels want to do. They want to add a run. Never have enough.
Runner on to second base with a 2-ball 2-strike count. Escobar a double, single, and a ground ball out, and he will chop that one that bounces up and hits him in the batter's box.
I guess the best Gary Thorne analogy I can come up with about runs.
This could be dangerous.
No. It's kind of like ice cream. You never have enough. That's
well put. Could not agree with you more. 2 and 2. A lot of chances. Angels are 5 for 8 today. Runners in scoring position. Foul back again.
Yeah, he's become a different hitter since we saw a lot of him in the American League. I mean, it looks to me that, yeah, he'll hit some home runs. He's got 3 of them, but you got to speed up the bat. He's really using the middle of the field. Last year he hit, what, 314 for the Nationals. It was 93 here in the 6th. Probably the best velocity of the afternoon. But he's very content to go the other way, back up the middle. Always thought those type of hitters were tougher to get out.
He and Manny lead third baseman in hits, and loses him. Third walk surrendered by Ubaldo. That'll put 2 on, and that will be it as Buck Showalter makes his way out. So Ubaldo Jimenez will come out of the ball game working 5 2/3, 8 hits. Dylan Bundy's coming in, and our pitching change brought to you by Jiffy Lube, where participating stores now do brake services. Stop in and let Jiffy Lube inspect your brakes today.
You can see the 56 strikes, maybe not as many as you want. Not wild, but in the third inning, 5-run inning, maybe wild in the middle of the strike zone. So he will leave. Dylan Bundy will come on. Good fastball. He's had to kind of tweak his windup as a young pitcher who hasn't really had a whole lot of innings over the last couple of years, but he's done a nice job. And again, he'll come in and try to keep the game exactly where it is. So he'll still 6 runs down, but they do have 9 more outs to work with.
2 down, Calhoun 2 on. Perez at second, Escobar's on at first base. Bundy's pitch away. Dylan Bundy's first appearance in his career against the Angels of Anaheim.
Yeah, and then you get Calhoun, who's pretty good hitter. He'll now look fastball. The one thing Dylan Bundy can throw is a good changeup.
Ripped on that one and couldn't get it at 93.
Yeah, and that's. Remember when Ray Miller not only pitched but managed, he would always describe pitchers. He said when hitters and good hitters are looking for fastballs and they still can't quite get to it, it gives you a little indication of what kind of fastball that pitcher has.
1 ball, 1 strike delivery to him. Calhoun in his 5th season with the Angels ball club. Previous years up and down between AAA and the big club. Last year he got in a ton of games as he hit 256. Had over 600 at bats with the big club last year. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Calhoun has had an RBI and a base hit, has struck out, a fielder's choice. Runners off first and second. 1-2 delivery. Bundy will miss outside with it. 2-2.
Yeah, he's really been working hard on the windup. I mean, for a young guy, and he could, with all the travel ball, I think he has a pretty good idea of who he is. And fly open, velocity went down, but that's 95. We haven't seen that in a while.
No. Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way. In the air, not deep, center. Jones shading his eyes, getting the angle, and will put it away. So Calhoun is retired. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 are left on. Let's take a look at our Chevy do-ups. Davis, Trumbo, and Reimold. Hair Cuttery, home of the Smile Back Guarantee. No small print, just big smiles. Lots of them here today for Angel fans and for all the youngsters who got the parade around the field. We're going to go to the 7th inning. The Angels on top by a score of 6-0. The Orioles, of course, were shut out 8 innings in the ball game last night. The 2-out single by Davis, the following walk to Trumbo, and then Matt Wieters, the game-winning 3 RBI homer. Orioles picking up the dramatic win last night. See what they can do with it here today. Orioles have outscored opponents now 16 to 6 in the 9th inning this year. Chris Davis will lead it off. Davis has grounded out and struck out, so he's now 7 for 40. Jared Weaver's gone the distance with a walk and 6 strikeouts so far. No runs, 3 singles. And Davis, those are the kind of swings Oriole hitters have had all day.
Yeah, 67 to about 1 pitch or 2 at 85. Most of the fastballs 83.
It's on the inside corner for a strike. Weaver just keeps dealing. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Chris. Trumbo and Reimold do up. Weaver gets it in. That ball to left. Ortega. Let's take a look at our PNC Inside the Numbers. Lots of games completed. Blue Jays over the Twins. As Stroman at 7 2/3. Solid innings. Bautista starting to heat up. Another long ball. Red Sox beat the Indians 5-2. Indians have been hot. Jackie Bradley Jr. 27-game hit streak. 1 for 3 today. Ortiz, huge day. 4 for 4. Tigers defeated the Rays 9-4. Cabrera, he's heating up. Doesn't he always? 3 for 3 with a home run. Archer on the mound. Swing and a miss by Trumbo.
Yeah, you got to go step out of the box and ponder what's going on. I mean, Shoemaker, we got a report. Well, of course, what did Mark Kuba? I said, we can't trust you. He said, well, yeah, Weaver, 97 miles per hour, 91 slider, about as good as you've ever seen.
He posted it. It's right here.
Right. There we go.
He's got the Weaver scouting report on the glass that separates us here in the broadcast booth.
Because he cannot be trusted.
He cannot be trusted. 1-1 is fouled off. Yeah, slider 90 to 93, splitter plus action, changeup 87 to 89, and a sinking fastball 96 to 99. Scouting report from Mark Gubicza on Jared Weaver.
Former pitcher, LA broadcaster, television analyst.
Is the 1-2 delivery on the way, and that will be taken down low. Orioles just trying to get somebody on base here. They got a runner to second in the first inning, and that's the only base runner who has reached second base in the ball game for the Orioles. That was Rickert, the leadoff batter, a walk and a stolen base. 2-ball, 2-strike delivery by Weaver. Another pop-up. Trumbo just slams the bat down at third base. He'll be hauled in by Escobar. Trumbo is retired. Well, follow the Orioles live with the MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment. Game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. You can download it, MLB.com at Bat. #1 app for live baseball for your phone or tablet.
The last ground ball is the 4th hitter of the game. And so it's either a strikeout or a pop-up.
Everything off the end of the bat.
Well,
0-1 count, 2 down, Reimold.
I mean, he's really a guy. I mean, home run team. 4 or 5% of your runs on the home runs. Good day to subjugate the ego and just say, you know what, I have to, like Pepper in the old days, try to control the bat head. Otherwise, you don't have a chance. Other clubs must be making that adjustment.
Yeah. He is 3-3, Weaver. 0-2 delivery. That's going to go to center, and that's going to be a base hit. So a 2-out single here in the 7th inning. Reimold gets it. The Orioles have their 4th hit, all singles. And that will keep the inning going for Jonathan Schoop. Schoop picked up one of those hits back in the 2nd, base hit, and he has popped out.
Yeah, he's become a pretty good breaking ball hitter for really a 2 third-year player, depending on last year of course he had the knee injury. So good breaking ball hitters. Weaver's speed is kind of right in his zone.
2 down. Breaking ball stayed up that time. Bedrosian in the bullpen, whom we've seen in this series. Cam Bedrosian. One 0 count. Weaver's delivered to Schoop. There's the breaking ball swinging strike.
Well, maybe not the 68-mile-per-hour curveball type of breaking ball hitter.
Weaver went 7 innings in the last outing against the Dodgers. 3 runs earned, 10 hits. in 7. In the air, left field, pretty good. Wood going back at the wall, looking up, and goodbye, home run. Jonathan Schoop finally gets the timing down, and the Orioles are on the board as Schoop delivers 2 RBIs for the O's on his 8th home run of the season.
Yeah, it seems to me they're real hard throwers because Jonathan sometimes over swings give him trouble. But again, the breaking ballers, you figure, well, you know, he's a young kid, he's got a good bat, tremendously strong. You saw it there. Well, I'll just try to change speeds, and if you don't make a good pitch, you look at his numbers, 8 home runs. I would say 4 of them, 5 of them on breaking balls.
Take a look at our Alexis of Towson driving the game.
And this is just a curveball that stays in the middle of the plate. He times it. And you kind of see the strength factor.
Our drive of the game brought to you by Lexus of Towson, the area's #1 luxury dealer. Come see why at lexusoftowson.com. Some mumbling from the crowd here because last night there was a lot of mumbling after the game that Shoemaker was taken out. Matt Shoemaker. Fans were kind of on him today about why not leave him in. He was better than what you had in the bullpen. Easy to say after the fact. And now he's going to get applause because he is going to leave him in.
Well, I was trying to explain to people, Mike Scioscia to me, I mean, he's a new wave guy, but because he's been here 17 years and he's adapted, but he's an old school guy because you don't leave a guy like Shoemaker with 12 strikeouts after the pass ball, allow the guy to go to first, to be in a 1-0 game and lose. That's just the way you did it. And he did have Salas pitching well, who came in and pitched well. The problem is they don't have their closer, even though Smith had saved 5 straight, and as it turned out, it backfired.
Yep. Breaking ball will be outside. 2 down, 7th inning. The Orioles on the Jonathan Schoop home run on the board now. Made it a 6-2 game. Well, they're back in it. Weaver with a 1-1 delivery on the way, and that ball to center. Trout. 4:33 on the home run hit by Jonathan Schoop. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, nobody left. 7th inning stretch time here in Anaheim, and that swing was what the Orioles needed. Home run number 11 given up by Weaver. Telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Orioles trying for a sweep. Angels trying to avoid it. So far the Angels succeeding as they've got the 6-2 lead. Ubaldo Jimenez able to rebound after that tough one inning. Jim, it's been this roller coaster ride for him. Can he get it corrected for consistency?
Well, I think we're going to have to wait and see. It's kind of where he was 2 years ago, his first year. You know, I mean, to be honest, he had the really good month in 2013, 4-0 with a 1.05 ERA. You know, and 9-9 until then, and then he struggled. Last year, he's much more consistent. So, you know, give him credit. He's trying to improve, trying to maybe make some mechanical tweaks. On the other side of the coin, Gary, as you know, they had some pretty good at-bats. And, you know, so Schoop hits the home run. He gets him back on. You know, you get to see Bundy. But obviously, you know, Ubaldo couldn't do what you want to do, which is stay away from the big inning.
It was a 5-run, 5-hit third inning. Ubaldo Jimenez charged with the 6 runs, 8 hits, 5 2/3. They were all earned. Dylan Bundy on in relief, getting the final out in the 6th inning. We'll go to work here in the bottom half of the 7th. Trout will lead it off. He's drawn a walk and scored, and struck out and flied out. So that only a couple of hits, 2 for 11 against the Orioles in this 3-game set. He'll take his first look at Dylan Bundy, and the fastball strike at the knees on the outside corner. Bundy has worked as many as 3 innings as they try and stretch him out. He did that against Seattle in his last appearance on the 19th. Couple of runs, 3 hits in that ball game.
Well, we're seeing a youngster. The first time I ever saw him in spring training, I'm going, if you're ever going to sign a high school guy, and you know, great windup, little Nolan Ryan, very compact, you know, able to repeat it, and we're seeing him trying to trend back to that. The big problem is because he has to stay here. He's just not going to get as many innings. In a perfect world, he'd probably be in the minor leagues. You know, let him start for 2 months, bring him to the big leagues as a starter.
2-1 delivery on the way. Late on a fastball, foul back.
But to his credit, along with Dom Chidi and Dave Wallace, Dom, the bullpen coach, you know, you kind of tweak it. You're not pitching as regular as you probably would like. You're not getting the innings. But you can see how well the Oriole bullpen has done. And he's been a good part of it.
Yes. Turning into the long reliever out of that bullpen for the Orioles. That'll be to right field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Well, a little late on the swing, but Trout able to get a leadoff single here in the 7th inning. Let's turn to our Major League Notebook and take a look at what went on this date. How about it's been this long? 2003. Artie Moreno brought the world champion Angels from Walt Disney for $184 million and is still the owner. And in 1959, Hoyt Wilhelm one-hit the Yankees. Orioles had a 5-0 win at Memorial Stadium from Wilhelm. Talk about slow pitchers.
I tried to hit him off in Chicago when he was playing for the White Sox. I swung at 3 knuckleballs. I thought I was going to hit all of them. Didn't hit any of them. It was dancing and diving.
Runner goes. Throw down Caleb Joseph. In with a stolen base. Trump.
Well, he can steal bases pretty much anytime he wants. They don't let him run a lot. Mainly because I don't think they want him to get hurt, but they want to add some runs right here. Goes immediately, head down, doesn't even look. A rare breed of speed and power, and well, he's a 5-tool player. He can do whatever. He can do all the things. Hit for an average, hit for power, throw, run, and go get the ball as well as anybody in center field.
So now another scoring opportunity. Albert Pujols will foul that one back.
And you know what he wants to do? He wants to drive him in, but you'd think he'd be with nobody out here in the 7th, shooting the ball the other way.
Trout 5 out of 6 in stealing bases to create the opportunity. The Angels are 5 for 9 in these situations today. 1-1 delivery by Bundy. Pujols on a breaking ball will catch the outside corner for a strike. A double in the 3rd inning when all 9 in the order came to the plate for the Angels. Double and an RBI. Pujols part of that. He has grounded out and flied out. Fine play made by Reimold. Robbed him of a hit his last time up. 1-2 delivery, heater inside. 2-2 on Pujols. give a big secondary lead to Trout here as the Orioles don't. Try and hold him close to the bag.
Yeah, pretty much a conventional straightaway defense. So you're
again inside. 3-2.
Yeah, the one thing when I look at Albert Pujols' number, and as we mentioned, 36, halfway through that 10-year deal, is the one thing he did in St. Louis that he doesn't do here is walk more. He used to walk every 6 times up there. You know, here it's about 11.
Full count delivery to him. It's going to be a base hit right over Bundy's head. Trout will make the turn. He'll hold up.
Yeah, he hurt himself.
Second on the overthrow, and we'll get there.
Yeah,
and Trout is.
But he hit the bag.
Standing on the bag and hands on knees. So it's a single. Adam Jones missed the cutoff man, allowing the runner to move up. Now they're going to come out and take a look at Trout.
Yeah. I mean, he rifles a changeup back up the middle, and here comes Trout, and he just catches the knee, or I don't know if he just slips a little bit, or maybe a cramp. And of course, they're concerned because he's right up there with the top 3-4 players in baseball.
Says he's okay. Base coach Ron Renicky down there with him. There you show you like he kind of twisted his ankle and leg is what he seems to be telling Renicky, the third base coach.
Yeah,
the Orioles will move the infield in. 7th inning, back-to-back singles. Going to second, Pujols on the throw. Giovatello gets the RBI opportunity. Swing and a miss and a pitch down and away. He's got an RBI and a base hit, part of that 3rd inning, 1 for 3. He has had 2 RBIs in this 3-game set. Well, the Angels looking to come right back and get those 2 runs or more back after Jonathan Schoop in the top of the inning got the 2-run homer. Giovatello waiting on it, and that'll be inside. There's Albert Pujols taking second, and ouch. Schoop had his foot on the top of the bag, and Pujols right up on top of it. Spiked him and stepped up on it.
Yeah, that's one of those plays. If, of course, the double play, if the spikes are above the knee, you get called out.
That's going to go to center. Jones will have to play it on a hop. Trout will score. Pujols will go to third base. An RBI, second of the ball game for Giovatello.
Well, it kind of gives you an idea how good Kevin Gausman was yesterday, because they were 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Here they've done a great job this afternoon, and even the Trout base hit to start it was a 2-strike jam shot, but he didn't swing through it. Then Pujols with 2 strikes hit the changeup up the middle. Giovatello, who's as hot as any of these guys, loops one in. Now there is a luck factor to that, but if you swing through him, you're out.
Boy, Giovatello is so hot.
Well, he looks to me like, he's like the Energizer Bunny. He's running all over the place. Saved him a run back on the first with a great defensive play. He's finally getting to play on an everyday basis here with the Angels.
First ball hitting, C.J. Cron. Runner will tag at third, but will stay. Throw a looper into the cutoff man right there.
Joey Rickard's changeup.
Runners remain at first and third, as Cron couldn't get him in.
Yeah, I'm
7-1 ball game, 7-2 game.
Yeah, I'm sure Wayne Kirby, the first base coach outfield, said, "Hey, just hit the cutoff man." Maybe he didn't want to do what Adam Jones did, overthrow the cutoff man.
Still runners on at first and third. 1 out. Ortega's been hitting the ball hard. 0 for 3. Couple of flies to center and a fielder's choice. 7 runs, 11 hits for the Angels. 2, 5, and 1 the Orioles. Bundy's delivery will be taken inside. So Bundy running into the buzzsaw here in the 7th inning. Here's the 1-0, runner goes, and that'll be foul back. Giavotella taking off. Probably as much running done in this game by the Angels as they've done all season. Giavotella's got a couple of stolen bases, 2 for 4 in the year.
Yeah, a lot of time, Mike Scioscia, I mean, if you looked at his teams, it was always talked, they used to always run through the base to the next one because even if they weren't stealing a lot of bases, they were very aggressive. They always put pressure on the defense, and I think we've seen a little bit of that. The fact that Ubaldo Jimenez doesn't hold runners well. And that's part of your game plan offensively to take advantage of getting as many runs as you can.
1-1 delivery, runner not going, off the fist. Going back and right, Schoop coming in, and Schoop will play it. Runner does tag, throw, runner goes back. So Pujols a couple of times tagging up, neither time coming. Good play by Schoop to get Ortega.
Yeah, this is really the outfielder's play, but Rickard, a Rule 5 guy, I mean, much easier play for him. Now Jonathan does have a strong arm, but this would have been a tough play if you had speed, because the ball would have short-hopped Joseph. He would have to catch it and then somehow tag him, but Albert doesn't run particularly well.
So now 2 away, first and third. And Perez will come up, already 2 RBIs, 2 singles, reached on an error.
Well, these are important chances for Dylan Bundy because, a little unlucky, jammed Trout. He gets himself in a little bit of trouble, and now he's trying to pitch out of it. And while the scoreboard is certainly not what you want if you're an Oriole fan, I mean, this is one of those learning situations.
14th chance with a runner in scoring position today for the Angels. They've had 7 hits. 7 or 11 have come with a runner in scoring position. 0-2 count, 2 down. Carlos Perez handling catching now. And that will be taken up high. Part of that DL list. Giovanni Soto, catcher with meniscus tear. Time will be Perez had not been hitting. Soto had not been hitting, so Perez was getting a chance to play. Jet Bandy came up and caught the ball game last night, his first appearance this year with the Angels. Perez with a 1-2 count. Pujols at third, Giavotella at first. And that ball in the air to the gap in left center field, hit hard. It's way back there. And goodbye, home run. Carlos Perez, a 3 RBI homer.
Well, he hit his first of the season against the Dodgers. That happened on Thursday night. Hit 4 of them last year, number 2, and it was a blast. Once again, they put the ball in play with 2 strikes. Good things happen. Really good things happen there. Take a look. Boy, just quick swing.
So the Angels use the long ball, and they do it with 2 down. 414 on that shot. Second home run. And a 5 RBI day for Perez. 1 on a single, 1 on an error, and 3 on the home run, and it is 10-2.
Yeah, what a gut check for this Angel team after the way they lost last night to come back and put a licking on the Orioles. I mean, you had 1-0 lead, 2 outs in the 9th. Orioles come back and win the game, and you show up, and well, they've done a lot of things well this afternoon.
Not a lot of mistakes made, and the bats have been alive. Dylan Bundy's delivery, a swing and a miss. Gregorio Petit, 1 ball, 2 strike count. There are 2 down. A 4-run 7th inning. It didn't take long for the Angels to get those runs back off Schoop's home run top of the inning and add to it. Ground ball towards the middle. Manny Machado will make the play. Petit is retired, but 7 come to the plate, and the big home run by Perez extends the Angels lead to 10-2. tomorrow. Then they will go into the road trip in Houston with 3. Chris Tillman takes the mound against Doug Fister. Our coverage on MASN 2, 7:30 O's Extra, presented by Jeep. Game coverage at 8. All the access you need right here on MASN.
So there are the Astros. You can see 5th this year. And Altuve, boy, look at that average. What, 200 hits or more the last 2 years. And then Fister, McHugh, the young. McHugh actually won 18 games. And then Lance McCullers, who the Orioles saw last year. Boy, what an afternoon for Jared Weaver. If he wins and they have a 10-2 lead, he'll be 4-3. Changed speeds with the best of them. And used all his pitches. So Bedrosian comes on. We saw him Friday, ending in a 3rd. Had yet to give up a run this year. You can see right there. And boy, he's got a nice arm. 95 with a nice breaking ball to go with it.
Ryan Flaherty for the Orioles in the 8th inning, trailing by 8. And a 1-0 count to him. Ryan is strikeout flied out. Weaver looks to go 9-4 lifetime against the Orioles. 1-0 pitch by Bedrosian will be fouled right straight back. And Shane Robinson has come on to play in center field. So Trump came out. He stayed on after he twisted an ankle or his leg a little bit on that play at third base when he went in. Stayed in, scored a run, but obviously in a 10-2 ball game, not going to take any chances. So Mike Scioscia pulls Trout out of there and Shane Robinson moves into center. One ball, 1 strike count from Bedrosian. Flaherty and then Rickard and Manny Machado, top of the order, due up. And the fastball there for a strike. 1-2 on Ryan. Check swing, tag put. Did he go? No. Dale Scott down at third base.
Yeah, that's what he's looking at, and he did not swing.
Bedrosian with a 2-2, and he'll loop that one the other way. Ortega. Bedrosian gets the out on the first batter faced. Only 24 years old, 34 games, and 4 times up last year with the Angels for Bedrosian. And a 1-0 mark. Worked only 33 innings in the 34 appearances. Joey Rickard at the top of the order. Rickard will take a strike. He's been on with a single and a walk. He is also lined out, picked up the stolen base early. Worley in the pen.
Yeah, came in last night and, as you mentioned in the open, walked a couple of guys to try to get some work in this afternoon, get back on track. Yeah, Bedrosian, you know, he signed #1 guy. You know, he has that type of arm and then has Tommy John surgery. Misses a whole year. Works his way back up through the minors. Starter, actually, early on, and then to the bullpen.
Rickard waiting on a 1-1, and the breaking ball had him out in front at 81. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Joey.
Yeah, he's got a good one. You know, if he's one of those guys, you know, used to be, well, if you don't have 3 or 4 pitches, you become a reliever. It's now, I think you'll find we get all these numbers all the time.
Down to third. That's a fair ball. Backhanded Escobar. Long throws there in time.
Yeah, so now you get a young pitcher like Bedrosian, and if you bring him up through the minor leagues and they don't have maybe a 3rd or 4th pitch, and you'll see it even with major league pitchers, when that batting average the 2nd and 3rd time goes up, that's when you go to the bullpen. Just can't get through the lineup often enough because either you don't have a pitch mix or you don't have command, and a little easier to get a guy out one time than 2 or 3.
2 down in the 8th. Manny Machado goes the other way. Calhoun will put it away. And that will do it. A 1-2-3 inning for Bedrosian. Angels looking to pick up the win. They've got the big lead. Time brought to you by Miller Lite.
And then you go. I mean, we've seen this now in 3 consecutive games on Friday night. Nice play. I mean, again, heads up play. Great throw by Chris Davis. And the more you see him, we think of him so much as a home run guy. The more you see him play first base, you realize one of the premier defenders, right up there with Eric Hosmer, who usually wins the Gold Glove from the Royals.
Davis has got to get a lot of consideration for that this year.
Well, Vance Worley will come on. Fastball, cutter, slider, occasional. I mean, he throws a big curveball. That kind of be his changeup. So he's done a nice job. Wild last night, so he comes in and then leaves. Orioles were trailing 1-0 at the time, and then Brad Brock came in and got him out, and they would go on to win 3-1 on the Wieters home run.
So Worley works here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and here's Escobar, and a strike taken. Janish has come on to play at short. Manny Machado out of the ball game. So Janish in. Escobar, double, run scored, single, walk, grounded out, goes to second, and on the fly, it's played by Jonathan Scope. One away in the 8th.
Escobar, they're up by 8, and it was like he just lined out with the bases loaded, 2 runs down. But again, you like that. I mean, if you're Mike Scioscia, you're Dave Hansen, the hitting instructor, you're going, you know what, quality at bat, not losing focus. Boy, they have done a nice job. 10 runs, 12 hits.
That'll bring up Calhoun. He's had an RBI. Pujols an RBI. Giovitella. Couple of runs batted in the game. Crone, he's had an RBI. Big day though is Perez, their catcher, a career 5 RBI day, including a home run, his 2nd of the year. 1-0 count. Cole Calhoun will take the pitch for a strike. So Ubaldo Jimenez 6 runs, 8 hits over 5 2/3. Dylan Bundy 4 runs, 4 hits, an inning and a third. Jared Weaver a chance to be the winner. Starter for the Angels. 2 runs, 5 hits over 7. He walked 1 and struck out 6.
Yeah, he got up Perez got up 260 times last year, only drove in 21 runs. It's a pretty good afternoon.
1-2 count on Calhoun. Robinson waiting on deck in Trout's spot. 1-2 pitch. That one goes to right field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. So Calhoun's got his 2nd hit. A 2 for 5 day and 4 hits and 14 at bats in the series. Gurr is up in the bullpen. Call up yesterday. And the hits just keep on coming for the Angels. Robinson on. Shane Robinson. Trout today had a couple of runs scored. He had a base hit, 1 for 3, also drew a walk, scored when he did that. Robinson is in his spot, number 3 hole in the lineup, and takes the pitch down low for a ball.
Warning for the Angels.
Robinson came up May 1. He too was at AAA. All the injuries, they've had a lot of call-ups. Ball in the air to right field over near the line. Rickard going over. Runners halfway. 2 down. Here in the 8th, Albert Pujols. 2 hits, 2 runs scored, RBI, double single in the ball game. Could have had another hit, but fine play by Reimold on a diving catch in the 5th inning. Robbed him of 1.
Well, the Rangers come in, or actually they go down there for a 3-game series, and you know he'll be hitting what over his last 11 games in the 350-60 range. And you know when you go to Texas, got to score some runs.
0-1 the count on Pujols. Breaking ball. Orioles day off tomorrow. And then Houston, Tillman against Pfister Tuesday. Have not officially named the starter. The Orioles have not for game 2. Colin McHugh will pitch for Houston. Tyler Wilson in the mix. That pitch down low. And then Kevin Gausman back on against Lance McCullers in the 3rd game. All of those are night games in Houston. Then the Orioles will go to Cleveland rather. 2-ball 1-strike pitch and a chopper. Long time to get there. Janish has it, makes the throw, and Pujols is retired. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. The Orioles 3 outs to work with. Go to the 9th. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Gary Thorne and Jim Palmer with you here at Angels Stadium, and a 10-2 lead as the Angels look to avoid the sweep going to the 9th.
So Deolis Guerra, Rule 5 guy, appendectomy coming out of spring training, so he was able to go down and rehab in the minor leagues. Rule 5 out of the Pittsburgh organization, very much like Joey Rickard, except the pitcher. You got to keep him all year. Big guy, 6'5", 245. He's out of Venezuela, so we'll usually when you go out and get a guy like that, he's got a power arm, so we'll get to see a little bit of it here in the 9th.
Bedrosian worked an inning, 0s across. Weaver will be picking up his 4th win. He'll be 4-3. Jimenez will take the loss. He will be 2-5. Orioles started 6 runs, 8 hits, 5 2/3 innings. The big third inning when the Angels batted around and got 5 runs on 5 hits and then added 4 more in the 7th. Adam Jones will come to the plate with the base hit in the ball game. He is 1 for 3. Chris Davis will be waiting on deck. Guerra's delivery, and that will be taken for a ball. Came up yesterday. Now working out of the bullpen, made his debut last year with Pittsburgh, went 2-0, ERA over 6, almost 6.5. And a swing and a miss on a heater away. 1-1.
Yeah, you go look at his minor league numbers, and he was 50 wins, 61 losses, ERA over 4.5 runs a game. A lot of walks, not that many strikeouts, maybe 2 out of every 2 for 1, and you're going, why would you pick this guy the Rule 5? I mean, even debut was with the Pirates. He had an ERA of almost 6.5 runs a game, so you'd think he'd be one of these guys that throws 94 to 98. Hard thrower, but the Angels obviously saw something.
One ball, 2 strike count on Adam, and that one's going to miss inside. Evens the count up 2-2. 10-13-0 for the Angels. 2-5-1 for the Orioles. Angels have left 6 on base. The Orioles have left 3. Angels taking advantage of opportunities in this ball game. That'll be outside. Angels finding a way to get the big innings. They're 8 for 14 today with runners in scoring position. Big number. The Orioles 0 for 2. Three-two delivery, and Adam went. He knows it. The tag will be put on.
Yeah, really nothing special. I mean, just 91 down and away, but it is 10-2. Long afternoon, trying to check, can't check. And this is what they're looking at. About well out in front of home plate.
That'll bring Chris Davis to the plate. Chris with an 0 for 3, couple of hits, 11 at bats in the series, including a home run. Shift will be put on. There his pitch will be fouled back into the screen. Visit MASNsports.com/CareFirst. Vote for today's CareFirst Fearless Player of the Game and live fearless with a name trusted for over 75 years. CareFirst, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Oh, 1 delivery. Gurr with a little wrinkle on that one. That's going to miss inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Over the top on that one. 80 miles an hour, the big motion.
Little Jared Weaver.
One and 2. There's delivery over the top to first. That'll be a foul ball. Orioles getting on the board. The Jonathan Scopes home run. His 8th of the year, coming in the 7th inning. 2 down. That has been it. Weaver, the Bedrosian, able to shut the Orioles down. Great start by Weaver. Weaver came in 3rd high in hits, tied for 2nd in home runs given, and tied for 8th in runs surrendered. Gave up 2 runs, 5 hits in this game. 1-2 delivery, a little dance music. Davis across the plate. 2 ball, 2 strike count. That one into the shift again. Big hop. And Davis is retired. The right place, right time, and there are 2 down. Take a look at our league leaderboard.
Well, Todd Frazier traded from Cincinnati to the White Sox, and then Cano doing what I think most people expected or wanted up in Seattle. Chris Davis, we saw him. He struggled against the Orioles, but big time power hitter. And there's Mark Trumbo leading the pack.
Brought to you by Coons.com. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. 2 down, nobody on. Trumbo takes the pitch away for a ball. Trumbo 0 for 3 in this game, 1 for 11 in the series. Orioles have stranded only 3 in the ball game. 1-0 pitch on the way. Trumbo will foul that one off. That'll even the count up at a ball and a strike. Orioles will be 12-7 for the month. Record on the road will go to 9-8. They were the season wanted a season high. 12 over, won't get it. It'll be 26-16, back to the 10 over mark after the game to take to Houston.
So they'll be 1 up over the Red Sox in the loss column and 1 behind them in the win. Red Sox winning this afternoon.
2 away, nobody on here in the 9th. There's delivery, check swing, and that's the ball game. So a couple of strikeouts for the reliever. They 1-2-3, 9th inning. The Orioles do take the series though, as they take 2 out of 3, 10-13-0 for the Angels, 2-5-1 for the Orioles, 10 to the final.